Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, yo, 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 yo. Tell them how we got this skill.
Good afternoon, all, and welcome to this impromptu Christmas ramble, you could say. I hope you all had a lovely time yesterday. And if you didn't, at least it's Boxing Day. You know, it's the worst of it's over. I think I had a bloody a really busy one. All my kids are grown up, so they do grown up stuff now. Like, I don't know, sit in front of a bloody screen and try to kill each other on a computer game. So yeah. Good day, I think. It was a good day. How about you, Mickey? How was yours?
Yeah, it was a lovely day. First of all, Merry Christmas to everyone. I did try and send a Christmas message to you all individually, but for anyone I missed, then I wish you all a Merry Christmas. But yeah, it was a lovely day, to be fair to you, Gal. Family time, innit? So everyone at the table, eating, playing games. It's just a lovely day, I think. I do enjoy it, to be fair to you. But yeah.
No, so do I. I love it. I love it. I mean, it ain't been the same since my mum was around, because it was always really special for my mum. It was like the highlight of the year for her, and it was superb. And we all used to get together, a lot of us, right? So we used to have a really big Christmas, and now we're kind of doing it in our own houses with our own kids and stuff. And yeah, it's actually quite funny. I do miss the times when we had little kids, because they get really excited at Christmas, don't they? And having said that, the older kids are they're fun, right? They're fun. It was a good laugh yesterday. They're all sort of an age now where they can get on, and there's quite a big difference in ages. You know, all the way from 17 all the way to 29. But they all get on as sort of they can all talk as adults now, so it's quite good, you know. It's quite good fun. A few of them have got
as you said, like, so it's great for like the kids and that, but now they're all like on their iPads and everything else, so they don't really even play the games. They're just sitting there playing like their own little games on their iPads and that now.
Well, that's what happened. We've got a pool table, right? So we had a few games of pool. I was undefeated, obviously, right, as you'd expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then they sat down, and Adam, my youngest boy, he brought down I don't know, was it a PS3 linked to his? He's a gamer, so he had a PS3 linked to his computer upstairs. And they were playing this bloody stupid game for hours. It was fucking mad. It was mad. But yeah, so long day. Feel knackered today, feel really shattered, but I thought we'd put together a little show and talk about, I know we completely ignored the Man United win the other day, because, you know, this time of year the family takes priority over the channel, doesn't it? But welcome everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us. It's a celebratory show today, I would think. I mean, if you look at the game the other day, Mickey, I'm not going to dwell on it for too long, because to be fair, it was a game of 20 minutes, wasn't it? I mean, the first 70 minutes or so was utter dross. To be honest, it was low block again. Welcome back, low block. We thought you died, but no, you were there all along, and you're back. And then all of a sudden he switched Paqueta into the middle, put JWP on the left, Bowen on the right, and Kudus just in front in the centre. And quite honestly, as we've said a million times before, we do have probably the best front three in the Premier League in terms of quality and form at the moment. And as soon as you let them loose, they do stuff, don't they?
Absolutely. I think I was one of the say fortunate ones, but I was working Saturday, so I thought I was going to miss like totally the game. But we got, like, if we cleared all our work, we could go home.
Yeah.
It was Christmas Eve, really, if you like.
Yeah.
I got home, literally stuck the telly on, and it was kicking off for second half. So I missed the first half.
Oh, you got the good bit.
So apparently so, yes. Apparently so. I just ended up getting the good bit.
Bloody hell.
Because when I was reading like different comments in like the on the commentary, it did say that it was a bit of a boring game, if you like not much was happening.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, okay, let's hope for hopefully for a better second half, and I got it. Do you know what I mean? It was from what I see. And I can only go on what I saw. I thought it was a really good performance in the second half.
It was. I thoroughly enjoyed the second half. We came out and we had a different attitude. So when I say it was low block for 70 minutes, it was low block first half, really. The first half was terrible, right? Really terrible. But anyway, the second half we came out with a little bit more intent. First half, it's true to say that Man United had the best chances. They were getting a lot of joy down their left and everything else. That was a little bit worrying. But they were toothless. I mean, I've not seen such a bad Man United side ever. I don't think, not in my lifetime. No, they're bad. But you got to beat what's in front of you, and it is Man United, and we do often play the badge rather than the team. So as bad as Man United are, you're always expecting a bit of a struggle to beat Man United. But that. It just came to life, didn't it? I mean, if you put Paqueta in the middle with those other players, there is a lot for an average defence to watch, to keep an eye on. And in the first half, Kudus was kept quiet by Shaw. Second half, Bowen moves over to Shaw's side. Shaw has now got a different problem on his hands. Kudus, I think, has been conserving energy all game. Hasn't really he was trying. He was defensively fucking excellent. In fact, if you look at Kudus's stats, he's got some of the best defensive stats in the league, as well as some of the best goal scoring stats. That guy he's an all rounder. Yeah,
he's so good, and he's just so good. Like, it's such a joy.
Yeah.
To just watch and that, and like I said, like from what the game that I saw, the part of the game that I saw, it was just fantastic, really, and lovely to see. Like, and it is it's definitely without them three, really, we would be boring to watch. I think, like, it's just me being honest. We are boring to watch a lot of times, but without them three, we'd be dross. Like, it's them that keep us alive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's right. And I mean, you got to say that I've said it from the start. Moyes, I've got a lot of criticisms of Moyes, but the one thing he definitely does that's positive is he knows when he sees class, and he doesn't drop class, right? He doesn't drop class. He's a Norman wisdom, Mr. Cruz.
I know. Sorry, people. This is my first time of doing comments, so if I'm missing anyone, I do apologise. I'm just trying to get the hang of it.
Yeah, we've assigned Mickey to comments today. This is a learning experience, a learning curve for him.
It is.
It's funny when you're on this side, and especially when we're doing the Sunday night show, you get thousands, right? They just fly up the screen and you miss them. And when I'm on comments, I'm useless. I'm bloody useless. So however you do, Mickey, it's going to be better than me.
Well, let's see.
Paqueta is, as was just said, right? Paqueta is much better through the middle. We all know that. I mean, back to my point is Moyes will always select class players. He won't drop them. He won't ignore them, because that's a stupid thing to do. But what he will do is he will restrict them to a point. But when you look at the defensive work that Paqueta gets through on the left and Kudus gets through on the right, I think they are, they seem to be quite happy with that at the moment, because they know later in the game they're going to be set free, right? And as soon as Paqueta started roaming free in the middle there, the guy caused all sorts of havoc. And I know you can criticise the Man United defending, and I've watched some of those hilarious Man U fan channels. They're fucking priceless, some of them, I tell you. But when you give someone like him even half inch of space, because if you look at that ball that he played with the outside of his foot, a lot of players would have had to settle, get their feet sorted out before they put it over the top. And by the time you've done that, you've been closed down. What Paqueta has the ability to do is just do something, right? And it's very similar to Payet. I was watching the highlights. It came up on Twitter last night. I was watching the highlights of that last game at the Berlin against Man United, and some of the first-time balls that Payet played there, very similar to Paqueta. He played Andy Carroll through once, basically without even looking first time. And
Yeah.
that's the kind of quality that you got. It opened up the Man United defence, and Carroll was 1-on-1 with the keeper, if you remember. He fucking hit the keeper's legs. You know, we could have won that game a whole lot better than we did, but is what it is. Good in the end. But he's got the ability to just play a ball completely unorthodox like he did. He drops it. He feels the ball, doesn't he? He dropped that thing over the top. If he'd have put the slightest bit too much power on it, or the slightest bit of sort of top spin or something like that, it wouldn't have dropped for Bowen. He knew exactly what he was doing, and Bowen's first touch was incredible, really. And Bowen, as soon as he gets the ball, if you watch Bowen and Kudus, as soon as he gets the ball, they make runs. They're expecting a ball.
But that's the big difference. That's the big difference, because he was getting a bit of stick before, as you know, like Paqueta from like certain fans and that, and I do get it, because he was trying some balls and they were just hitting the opposition or going nowhere. But the big difference is Bowen and Kudus making them runs.
Yeah.
And so now, like, he can afford to do them sort of non-look passes because he's got half an idea of where they're going to be.
Yeah.
It's a massive difference. And the only shame thing about that goal is that it didn't go down as a Paqueta assist.
That's amazing, isn't it? What a stupid rule. I mean, if that ain't terrible. An assist, what's an assist? I mean, that was the most beautiful ball that he played there. That was worth a goal by itself. The keeper was hilarious, wasn't he? The way he sat down. He just sat down. Apparently, he's prone to just sitting down when someone's on top of him like that, Anana. And it was one of those, someone's mentioned it just now. You know the reaction videos. Oh, they're priceless. If you ain't seen them, go and see them, because they're just hilarious. And one of them said, for the second goal from Kudus, he said, Anana might as well be a fucking cardboard cutout in goal. He just lost his shit. And he was, the minute Kudus played that 1-2 with Paqueta, I had total confidence that ball was going to end up in the back of the net. Right? It was him running against two defenders and a goalkeeper. One of those defenders was on a booking already, and he just doesn't fucking miss. He gets, like the great strikers. As soon as bad strikers, they need time, right? They need time. Good strikers get themselves in the right place and know exactly what they're going to do with the ball as soon as it arrives. They've got the ability to think really quickly, right? It's like Rooney. He might not be the brightest bloke ever, but his football intelligence was fucking immense, because he just knew instinctively what to do with the ball. And that is what I think we've got with Kudus. He knows exactly where the fucking goal is. He never misses a target, right? And that was such a quality finish with an apparently weak foot, if he's got a weak foot. Right? It was
just fantastic finish. Like, I wouldn't. And it's not me being like horrible here, but if you had Antonio in that same position, because Kudus, that pass was amazing. Like, it was literally lasered in, because you had the two players on either side. So it had to be a point, and it was. And then, but if it was like someone Antonio, I wouldn't have the confidence of him.
He ain't scoring.
Moving it to the right. No, moving to the right, and then sort of wrong footing Evans, I think it was, when was it?
Yeah, it was. He put him through his legs, didn't he? And that's the classic striker's finish, isn't it?
He knew exactly where he wanted to put it, and he did. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, and he put it right in that corner. Again, it was another beautiful goal.
He goes into the zone. As soon as he goes into that zone, no one's stopping him, right? He's going to be world class, that kid, isn't he? I mean, bloody hell. He's only been here 5 minutes. He's only been here 5 minutes, can't stop scoring. And clearly, he was thinking exactly that. The reason he took it to the right is because there was no space down the left. So he knew he had to take it to the right. He had no choice. But him, Bowen and Paqueta, what a trio that is. And we've really got to make the most of that. Is it cold in Mickey's gaff? No, but it's cold in this shed. That's why I'm not very festive.
That's what I thought. Why does he say my gaff? You're the one wearing the coat. But
it's freezing in here. It's freezing, Mickey. So, sorry, I'm not very festive. Let's go through a few of the comments for a minute and see if...
sorry, Gav, go on, you take over the comments for a bit.
No,
there's one I starred, because I've not heard this yet, but look, it was this one. It was,
is it true?
Daddy's coming in with 160 mil bid for Kudus. I've not heard that.
Well, that has been sort of rumoured, but the thing is, look, I don't think we don't have to sell him. I don't think there is a a fee, like there is for release fee, like there is for Paqueta. It's 85 million, I think. We haven't got that with Kudus. I've not heard that mentioned anywhere from all the big sources. In fact, people were denying that is the case. So it will cost a shitload of money. And I think the other day I was saying that, if we keep him for the rest of this season and next season, he'll be worth 180, 200 million because he will be the finished product. Now it's up to him really, because you've got to say the Saudi League is a place where you just go for money. Right. It depends what motivates him as a man. And hearing him speak, I don't think it's necessarily, obviously the money's important, the money's critical, and he be under no illusions. He didn't come to the Premier League for anything other than money, but he can get that money elsewhere as well. And it depends what he wants to do. He's a young kid. Does he want to win the biggest trophies? Because I would imagine his next step from us would be, to the likes of, after a season, to the likes of Man City or to a PSG or something like that, because that is the next step up from us, right? It wouldn't be to fucking Arsenal, Beck, that's for sure, right? And maybe Liverpool, as a Mo Salah replacement. But they're going to have to put their fucking hands in their pockets big time to get their hands on him, because he's going to cost them an arm and a leg. And,
I agree. And then when he first come to us, there was he was talking and he was saying that it was his dream. I know people do say it, but I kind of believe this with a lot of players, but it's his dream to go to the Premier League. Yeah. So, and I think he's too young to go somewhere like a Saudi league, because there's nothing to win there, like of any importance, I guess, or like any status.
It's a shit league, Mickey. I looked at it recently because I thought, hang on, this is going to become one of the major leagues in the world, because they were talking about letting the Saudis into the European Champions League and stuff. Like I think they have actually one place or something, which is ridiculous.
Oh wow!
It's not even in Europe; it's in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
But it's surprising what money can buy you, isn't it? But I looked into it. There's this really cracking sort of documentary show about the Saudi League, and it's about an hour long. There's a guy that does all these sort of football documentaries on YouTube. He's really good. I forget his name. And he was actually going through it in a lot of detail. And he said there are basically 4 clubs there who are funded by the state, and they've got all the money, right? And they've got all the stars. All of the other clubs are poor, and they play in dirt bowls, basically. These things are just dirty, sandy places with no fans. The fans turn out to see the stars. So if one of those top 4 teams are playing, and they don't actually support the clubs, they support the individuals, which I find weird. So they'll turn up, you get a big crowd to watch Ronaldo. You get a big crowd to watch one of the other so-called stars, right? Mohamed Kudus is not on that level yet. So that's, I'm sure he will be, but surely it's Saudi's job to take established stars, because that's where they're going to get their money from, right? Unless money's not important to them, which I don't think it is. But in summary, that league ain't going to grow to anything like as strong as as our league, for instance. Our league, where the bottom team can beat the top team at any given time, the most competitive league in the world. What you got there is basically a recreation of, I don't know, slightly, I suppose, don't want to insult the Scottish, right? But it's basically 4 teams that are just going to win it every year. And even those 4 teams, if there's no stars playing, no fans are going to turn up.
But do you think it die out, Gal? Like, you remember the Chinese done it a few years ago? They was buying all the stars up and everything, but I can't see them.
That was this guy's prediction. Yeah, this guy's prediction was it would die out because there's no TV revenue, because no one wants to watch it, right? There's literally fans when a star turns up. Other than that, they play in front of fucking 2 men and a horse, right? It is some of the scenes at some of those stadiums, you're just thinking, why the hell have you gone there? For instance, Jordan Henderson, he could be playing in the Premier League, somehow still getting picked for England. One of the games that I saw a picture of him playing in, it was a dirty old concrete bowl from like the 1950s. No, it can't be 50s, ain't that old. Tiny little concrete bowl, like Mile End Stadium used to be, right? Tiny.
Yeah.
And it's got about, I don't know, 200 fans in it. So you've gone from playing at Anfield in the Premier League to playing in that. So that is pure money motivation and nothing else. And I don't have a go at people for being motivated by money at that end of their career.
I was going to say, with Henderson, you can understand it with Henderson.
Yeah,
He's at the end of his career, he's bumping up his pension, if you like. Do you know what I mean? Not like he really need it, but you can understand that. Yeah. But someone in their prime, like a Kudus, who, he's not even in his prime, I believe. I think he's got, like, he can still move on.
Nowhere near his
prime. I can't see him going there, even if it was. I think you're right. He'll end up. I think he'll stay in the Premier League, but I think it'll be like a Man City, Liverpool, whoever's got the money to go.
Here's a comment from Mark. I live in Dhahran and watch Steven Gerrard's out Etifak. They're not one of the big ones. They must be one of the big ones because they got Gerrard, right? One of the state-sponsored ones. And you're right.
No, I don't think they had the money because they was the one.
Right?
They was looking at Antonio these, I think, but they didn't have. They weren't like the money.
So Gerrard's gone to play for to manage one of the small ones, but he must be getting. He must be getting a fair wedge for it. I mean, unless they're spending all the money on him.
I wouldn't be surprised, but there's money going around there, so who knows?
And Henderson is on 700 grand a week. Yeah, probably tax free as well, right? Probably.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money in anyone's book, and that's why I like Ronaldo's gone there. Clearly, it's the end of his career. He's won everything. What else he got to prove? So there you go. He gets a bit of adulation for a couple of years, and he loves the adulation, don't you? He loves the adulation.
Well, let's be fair to Ronaldo. It was him that kicked this off for the Saudi. He's absolutely changed it. He changed the game when he moved over there.
Yeah. No, he did. What I want to do in this show as well is go through, like, very, very quickly. I'm going to try not to bore you all, but very, very quickly, going to bring up an Excel spreadsheet, right? And I'm going to go through the results that we've got to kind of look at. We're sixth in the league now. By any stretch of the imagination, that is a good result. Sixth in the league at Christmas is a great result. I want to look at it and see if that's what should have happened, or whether we should have been higher, or whether we should have been lower. Has this been an outstanding performance or an expected performance? And what to expect for the second half. Need your help with that one, Mickey. And I've tried to kind of look at the results that we got in the first half of the season and judge them fairly on what I would have predicted, or what I did predict, how I did predict those games to end, right? And I just want to show you, what I think. You can agree or disagree, but I've tried to be fair as much as possible. But before we go there, let's talk about Arsenal on Thursday. And this is a game that, obviously it's our first full game opposite Declan Rice. I think he's buried in the depths of my memory now. I just don't even think of him as a West Ham player anymore. Got fond memories of him and everything else, but I wouldn't be one booing him, for instance. That's just a waste of time. And that booing players, good players, only makes them play better anyway, right? Well,
yeah, and you don't really want him to sort of be playing better. Look, I've got no. I don't know what the word would be used, but I'm not like a Rice disliker. Like I still appreciate everything he done for us. He was one of my favourite players there. At the end of the day, he was always going to move on. And I know that people didn't want him moving on to someone like Arsenal, but let's be honest with you, they are a bigger team than West Ham. It's just a fact. They are.
Yeah.
They are a bigger team than us.
Yeah.
And they was, say, close of winning it. They needed, like the other season, but they needed someone like Rice to give them that push. They're doing the right moves in getting better players in. And not just average players, although saying that, Havertz, but we'll leave him aside for the minute. But, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they strengthened their squad. Do you know what I mean? And Rice was going to be a part of that. But I mean, I'm not someone who goes, I wish him all the best and everything. I don't care like that now. He's moved on from West Ham. I don't hate him, but he's moved on from West Ham now. So
yeah, he's irrelevant to you.
You know what I mean? If he does well, fair play to him. Lovely. He's always going to go on to play well. But I don't feel either way. I don't feel go on Rice, or I don't feel right.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, same here. He's gone now. He's not a West Ham player anymore. And I think I've explained before, I don't even watch games that don't involve West Ham. I'm completely biased, right? Completely biased. I don't even pretend to be interested in other teams' games. I know that's bad because we're on a football channel, but it's a West Ham channel at the same time. Is what it is. Is what it is. Right, I'm going to try to. So, what do you reckon? How do you reckon that game's going to go? Let us know in the chat what you think. I mean, look, they are a good play. They are a good team. They do look better, but he's gone from being our best player to their best player, right? And we told them that would happen, and they took the piss out of us, right? They took the piss out of us like relentlessly at the beginning of the season. I don't think when you look at our results and being sixth in the league, I don't think in league terms we've missed him. But of course, you miss a player like Declan Rice, right? He was never injured. He never went missing. He was never banned. He was always there, right? He played. I think he only missed about 1 or 2 games last year, didn't he? It always, ran himself into the ground for us.
Mr. Reliable, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah. So let me go through a few of the comments. Oh, we got John in the chat.
Yeah, John's put a few up and that.
Yeah,
with a draw at Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely, John. Definitely. I mean, we'll go through what we predict for that in a minute. But I'm just gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you this sheet. I'm gonna review the first bit of the season, right?
Yeah,
then go through the second bit of the season, and then where I think we're gonna finish on the basis of that, and see if any of you agree or disagree or think I might have even been too optimistic about the second half of the season. I think the fixtures have fallen for us nicely in the first half, if I'm being honest, right? And that is my summation of the first half. Let me see if I can share, because you know what usually happens when I try and do this? Don't bloody work, does it? So
should I leave the comments alone for a minute?
Yeah. No. Carry on.
All right, go on. Again, apologise, people, for these comments. This is my first go, so.
Mickey, you're doing fine. You're doing much better than me.
I think we're doing all right. I think we are doing all right. I know I've missed a load of comments, but I know he's only clicking on a comment, but it's hard to do this and then interact as well. It's just finding your feet in it. John's good at it.
Tell me about it. It's bloody it's really hard. Right. So I've got it on one screen, and so apparently in here you can share a screen. So let me share a screen. And this one. There we go. That one. Window. Oh no, I can share a window. Oh, good. Oh, it's like Zoom. I can share a window. I'll try and make it nice and big so it doesn't look like a horrible little spreadsheet, and I'll scroll up and down so as you can actually see what's on it, right? So let's try that one. Oh, you can see it. Yeah? Does it look all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Let's get rid of that for a minute.
So look, let me take it down a minute. Let me take it down, zoom out a bit. So zoom up one more. No, I want to get that bit of the writing, right? That one there. Because that's what I've done here is I've gone opposition result. Sorry, it says comma there. It should say obviously have a dash in it, but whatever. Expected. Now this is what I expected, right? And then on the basis of that, points won and lost. All right. So let's quickly go through it. Yeah. So again, let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of these, because so if you get like en masse disagreement, I expected to go to Bournemouth after going to Bournemouth last year and win. And if you look at the way Bournemouth were playing at that time of the season, we should have won. And the game and the way that game. Now I expected a draw against Chelsea. We beat them. Brilliant. So it's green because we overachieved, red when we underachieved, yellow when we got what I expected. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the green one here as well. I'll just focus on the greens and the reds. I expected to lose at Brighton. Everyone expected to lose at Brighton. Yeah. So that's 3 points gained, 2 points gained at Chelsea, 2 points lost at Bournemouth. So I think that's kind of fair, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go down here, I think Villa, I expected a draw against Villa, right? I expected a draw against them. We got absolutely humiliated. So I'll put that as 1 point lost. That's a cup game, so no points lost there, but I didn't expect to lose away to Olympiacos, right? Everton, I expected to beat Everton at home. And 100%. I know, you got to, haven't you? You got to.
Well, especially for that Olympiacos game, we talked about it before, but especially that Olympiacos game, he rested so many players for the game against Everton that, it should have been a better showing at least, but that was a terrible game.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So, so again, I expected to lose at home to Arsenal in the League Cup. That was a magnificent performance. Still one of my favourites of the season so far. All of these other wins were expected. We go here. I expected to beat Palace at home. So that for me is a 2 points dropped, right?
Yeah, agree.
I expected to lose away to Spurs. That's 3 points gained.
Yep.
I expected to win away to Fulham. And again, that's just me. Whenever I go to Fulham, we win. I went to Fulham. We got fucking annihilated. So I suppose that's contentious. Some people might have predicted that as a draw, maybe. But I don't think anyone would have predicted a loss away to Fulham, especially an embarrassing loss like that, right?
No, the only thing I was worried about that one, I wouldn't have done, but about 3 games prior to that, Fulham found their scoring boots.
Yeah.
I was a little bit leaning more towards a loss, but not 5-0 loss. No way.
No. It was ridiculous, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, these ones, look, we expected win-win loss. And then Man United, I expected a draw because, like I said, I expected to play the badge rather than the team, right? I know they're bad at the moment, but I expected us to draw with them. So that, for me, is 2 points gained against Man United. So that's good.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, when you add that up, right, we've underachieved by a point.
Okay.
Yeah, we've come, So what I'm saying is those fixtures, they were good fixtures for us, a good set of fixtures, like playing Forest at home. First half last season, we played Forest away when they'd just been promoted and we lost it, right? But there were a number in here we could have achieved a lot more. If I was to go with my optimum predictions here, you'd be but all in all, it's worked out pretty much as I personally expected it. Right.
Yeah, it's been very if you're under 1 point, then it's not too sad.
Not at all. I think what he says is we've achieved what we set out to do. I think he's done his job. He's used his players. I think we've lost a few we shouldn't have lost. We've won a few we shouldn't have won on paper. But it's balanced out. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's good. Yeah, Forest just beat Newcastle away 3-1. Oh god.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And look, you don't know how the second half's going to go, right? Because who expected Chelsea to be shit, right? Who expected that really under Pochettino? I know I didn't, right? And you look at some of these, who realistically expected us to beat Brighton. And if you look at some of these others, who expected Man United to be utter crap like they've been? Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Chelsea. You're right. I weren't expecting that. So it's
And who expected after the start they had for Spurs to get so many injuries and turn to crap, right? So that sort of stuff can happen in the second half of the season. But don't forget as well, we've had no injuries at all. I mean, apart from Antonio, and that just freed up a space for Kudus anyway, right? So this is much, much smaller. I've got to make it bigger so as you can see it. Let me go even bigger. So this is the second half, my predictions for the second half, right? And it'll tell you at the bottom where I expect based on this. So see if you disagree with any of these predictions, yeah? Yeah,
that's everyone as well. So like, see if you disagree with any of these, put it in the chat and I'll...
Yeah, let's go through them together. Let's go through them together, right? So Arsenal, I expect a loss. Anyone expect a win on that? In fact, put in the chat if you disagree with me. Yeah. Be easier that way. So Arsenal loss. Yeah. Brighton home draw. I think they're going to want revenge. They're a good team, aren't they? Anyone think we'll beat Brighton at home?
Like this is we're gonna have to, when I'm looking at this, I'm gonna have to go like realistic because there's a part of me that thinks we're going to give Arsenal a good game, like we always do.
I hope so, because there's another thing as well, because I'm a great believer in... I don't want to say it. But look, my mate Chris he's over from New Zealand. He's been over 4 times before to watch West Ham, and each time he's watched us for 3 games, right? He's never seen us lose. We've won every single one of those games, yeah? Every single one of those games, and he's going to Arsenal. So, if you're a believer in superstition, and I kind of am, I've got my, that could be an overachievement at Arsenal. We could end up doing that. We can end up winning that. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Fantastic. Absolutely superb. Just to get one over on those fuckers. It'd be
that's
so
what
good.
got me excited. Well, when in the WhatsApp chat and everything, you telling me about your mate, I'm thinking, come on, let's have it. Do you know what I mean?
He's been over. He didn't go to the Liverpool game, but he went to last week at Wolves and the Man United game, and now he's going to the Arsenal game.
Do you know what? You know the reason why I think that he's like when I'm thinking about Arsenal game, and it's like I think I'm going to be thinking this with every other game. It's that front three. I think they just give any team in the world problems if we're on it.
I totally agree. And we've got that front three for the next two games, right? Arsenal and Brighton. And I hope we beat both of them, right? All I'm doing is I'm putting my predictions here so that I can come up with a points total based on where I think we'll finish. I think you'll agree with most of them, but obviously this one here, I just think that away to a big side, Moyes tends to go, sit and lose.
I agree. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying I've got to go a bit realistic here instead of like getting the passion and that overtakes it. But I'll agree with that.
So draw against Brighton again could easily be a win if we go at them like we did at their place, and that was JWP's first. By the way, it's quicker to JWP is not that's got more consonants than Ward-Prowse and James Ward-Prowse. So I might as well call him Ward-Prowse from now on. He's not shortening. So right. So anyway, Sheffield United, I reckon a win away. It's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough, but I think we beat those teams.
Yeah, I think everyone's doing that. One saying a draw. Mark Alexander reckons Sheffield United draw.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna. It's interesting reading these comments actually because Sheffield United have been the most horrible game to watch, but I think we'll win it. Home to Bournemouth, I think we'll win. We tend to beat them at home. They're a good side at the moment, but I think we'll beat them. We'll play the Badger away to Man United, no matter how good or bad they are. They might have another manager in place by then. I think we'll go there and lose. Moyes will just fucking surrender that game like he does to every big team. Have we beaten a big team away under his stewardship? I'm not talking about Spurs. They don't fucking count, right? But we haven't beat one of the others, have we? We haven't beat one of the others. The other big, the traditional top six. Yeah. We know that no matter how shit we are, we can beat Spurs at any time. And Spurs, they hate that, don't they? Right, home to Arsenal. They're going to be chasing the title. Again, I'm predicting a loss. Mainly because we've got this thing with Arsenal where we always fucking lose to them, no matter how bad they are. I hope that changes. I think we'll beat Forest away, but having seen that result just now, I'm thinking, oh God, right? But nonetheless, this is what I expect. I expect to win away to Forest. I expect, if we beat Arsenal at home and lose away to Forest, that's fine, right? That's 3 points gained still, right? Brentford.
I'd like to think that against Forest. Obviously, it's not just because of the result that they've just had against Newcastle. It's also their new manager. So let's see what the style of play is going to be. We should get a better idea, I think, by then of like where he's going to be at. Like, what's his name? Nuno. The Forest manager.
Oh, Nuno, isn't it? Nuno.
Nuno, that's it.
Yeah. So, by the way, let's not forget, we've got potentially an FA Cup fourth round here on the 27th of January. AFCON is 13th of January till the 11th of Feb. So that is, if you look at it, it is all of those games, right? Potentially without
I'm hoping Kudus is back for that Arsenal a home one. I'm hoping he's back for that.
Yeah, so it's potentially all of those games in red. I think Kudus will be back in time for Man United, to be honest. Because he ain't going to I don't think Ghana are going to get past the quarterfinal, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how good they are as a nation. I'm sorry, that's ignorant.
They're not up there with Morocco, who Aguerd plays for. They've got a chance of winning it. Right, so so then if you look down at Forest, Brentford, home, I could never see us beating Brentford. I'm sorry, I can't. It would be great if we did, because I can't stand Brentford. It's like Brighton. They've got this thing where we can't bloody beat them.
Well, we played dreadful against Brentford all the time. Dreadful.
Well, I think that their manager has got Moyes' number, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I feel. Everton away. We hardly ever beat Everton away. I've been there so many times to see us lose. I can't possibly predict a win there, right? Home to Burnley, win, right? Home to Villa, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm hoping they will be struggling with Europe at that point, and maybe we can turn that draw into a win.
Sorry, Gal, are you going to Everton? Lost there.
Everton away. I'm putting loss. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go a win for that personally.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I genuinely do. That's me. That's my prediction on that.
Yeah, we should do this again, and I'll add another column. We put your predictions in as well, because these are just my predictions, right?
That's all right.
I didn't know it was going to work so well, to be honest. I've never done this before. It's just like sharing on Zoom. So draw there. Newcastle away again. That could be a draw, or it could even be a win, depending what's happening. If Eddie Howe gets a sack, depending what's happening. I always thought he would get to this point, Eddie Howe. I know Nick said I was talking rubbish, whatever, but that's not unusual. But I always thought when Eddie Howe was managing Bournemouth, he got to this point where, like all managers they get into that death spiral where they just pick the same team over and over again, expecting it to produce, and they just get snow blindness, And I think that's probably where he's at the moment. I know they've got a lot of injuries, etc. Tottenham at home again. I predict a loss. I think that's going to be a win myself. In fact, let's do that. Let's do win. We can't lose at home to Tottenham, right? I can't even predict it. Can't even just contemplate it, right? Wolves away. Again, I've seen us get trounced there a few times in recent seasons. I went up there. I think it was last season. I think I went up there with us. Anyway, 2 or 3 times I've been there. We've lost at a canter. There was one where we just didn't even compete. Fulham at home, win, revenge. Away draw. There's no more certain draw than away to Crystal Palace. That is going to be a dull old affair, right?
Yep.
By this point, Liverpool are still going to be chasing the title. Yeah. Chelsea away again. Will they still be crap? But we don't get anything there. Usually, I mean, the best time there was that one where Alvin Martin's son played in goal. That was a great game that I was at, and it was just such a good day out. I've seen us win there a few times, and it's fantastic, right? And then Luton win, City loss, right? So let me, on the basis of that, hold on. So we've got 30 at the moment. I think that's, yeah. Let's check that's adding up all of the, that is adding up all of them, yeah. Okay. All right, so season total, I reckon 52. And I reckon that's position 9th or 10th. If we get 54 or 57, well, if we get in the 60s, we got a chance of Europe, right? So you can see from my predictions, you're right in the chat, by the way, there are a number of games here that we could, we might get a win there. Might be another 3, right? Oh no, sorry, I haven't added the 3 points for Tottenham. So that would be 55. It'll still be 9th or 10th. Yeah. There is a chance when you get 57, if it's a low scoring season, right? And I don't think it will be up the top of the league. It will be down the bottom of the league, but not up the top. That's the problem. So that's why I think 9th or 10th. Sometimes 57 can get you into European place. And I think European places will go down to 8th this season, right? So
yeah, I'm just trying to work out because I don't know. There's a part of me I do think we'll be finishing higher than 9th and 10th. I do, but it's just I'm putting so much.
Let's go
on
through,
and I don't know why, but I just am putting so much on them.
Just pick out the ones where you think I can change it. Go on. So
well, okay. So the Nottingham Forest.
Well, start on here. Start from Arsenal.
I've got in. So Arsenal, well, I've got to go with a loss for that. I do think we give them a game, but yeah. Brighton, I'll say, yeah, a draw. I agree with that then. Yeah, I've got to
win.
Sheffield United win, yeah. Man United, I fancy it. I do fancy it. I think a draw there, to be fair to you.
Draw?
Well, yeah, I do think a draw, but I think we could do better. Arsenal, yeah, lost that. Forest win. Who's that? Brentford draw. Yeah, I think that's been calm. Yeah.
Everton away.
Aston Villa. I fancy a win now. Sorry, Everton. Yeah, I fancy them. I fancy a win now.
A win.
Yep.
So that'd be 3 points. Burnley. Yep. So Villa, you fancy we're going to beat them?
I do. Yep.
Okay. Newcastle away.
Yeah, we stick with that.
Spurs win, yeah.
No,
you can't predict anything other than us beating Spurs, yeah.
No, I think that'd be a draw.
You reckon?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm going for.
Wolves. away.
No, I think we win him. No, I think we beat them.
Win. Fulham at home.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Palace away.
Yeah, that's your banker, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. Chelsea away.
Chelsea away. Yeah, okay, I'll go a loss. I think it'd be a good game, but I still say a loss.
Win that, lose that. Right. So you're much more optimistic than me. You're saying 62 points. Now, if we look at how the league finished last season, right? So hang on a minute. Fucking hell.
I didn't know. Mickey's got us winning the league.
No. Well, it's like 32 points versus 30 that we just got for the first half of the season. So it's not unrealistic, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you look at those, I can't disagree with those predictions. It's just what they would be the optimum set of results that I would predict. You know what I mean? Rather than the regular set. So 62 points. Let's take a season. Let's take 21-22. 62 points would get us into 6th place, right? That's 21-22, right? If you go to 22-23, 62 points would get us into 7th place. No, maybe 6th place. So yeah, if your prediction comes true, we're 6th or 7th, right? If my prediction comes true, we're 9th or 10th.
Yeah, and then and to be fair to you, you've sort of been you've said that since the start. You think around about that. So
yeah. So let's stop sharing. Let's stop sharing a minute. Right, let's stop screen. There we go. We're back. Right. So look, that's quite interesting. Anyway, I think it's all to play for. If you look at the AFCON, that could impact us. Injuries could really impact us, right? What does Gary's hair have in common with this? What's that? Having a go at my hair again. Excellent. Both using some product zero. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I feel rough today. I'm having a bad day. No product.
Listen, you're allowed to because it's boxing day. So it was a busy day yesterday, so we're all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, look, there's going to be changes. You know that some managers are going to get sacked. You know that some teams are going to have major injury crises, right? You know that some teams who played the first half well will turn to shit towards the end of the season, and some that play badly will suddenly get together. I'm thinking maybe Chelsea will start firing. I just can't see them failing. I hope they do though. I hope they do. Lou brush hair, fucking hell, Steve. Yeah. I do. Yeah, all right. I do need a haircut as well. I know. Bit harsh.
That's why I'm wearing a cap, people. That's what I made my hair was a mess. That's why I'm putting this cap on. Don't worry about that.
No, you just get bad hair with me. It's fine. I'll just front it out. I don't care. So I think everything to play for, but it depends a lot on the cups, I think, and we've got it depends when what's his name comes back, Kudus and Agued, what shape they're in. Hopefully they don't get fucking injured while they're over there. Where is it, by the way? Do you know where the AFCON is?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Again, it's ignorant from me, but I don't. I've got no interest in it. Like I should have, because some of our players are in there, but I haven't, because the Premier League's still playing, and I'm definitely a club over country person anyway. Do you know what I mean? I prefer watching that.
For sure. I mean, this is the way we should be looking at it. 10 points away from safety. That is the West Ham way to think about it, right?
But I hate looking at it like that, because it is a bit dull when you look at it like we're this way for like we're only 10 points away from safety, because I think we should be looking at it bigger than that. And as you said, you're making them predictions on your strongest team that you're playing your best and everything else, because everything, they are just guesses. They're just purely predictions, as we say. Like anything could happen. We get the injuries, more games to be played. Like we didn't count for like the midweek European fixtures and other cups. Yeah. So it is literally going out from our best team and our best play. So
also the difference is in the first half of the season, you can rotate a fair bit in some of those weaker group games because let's face it, some of those group games were fucking weak, right? Some of the opposition back a Topola, for God's sake. I mean, where'd they come from? Right, thanks, Andy. That's really good of you. It's in Africa.
It's like Ivory Coast people saying here.
Ivory Coast.
Yeah, a lot of people saying
right.
Ivory Coast.
I wonder what that's like in terms of pitches and stuff like that. You know.
Well, if it's that, like the AFCON is like their World Cup, no?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You'd expect them to sort of be at their best at that time.
Yeah. It's a bit bad, isn't it? About Corney, poor fucker. It's like it must be a massive thing for him having the AFCON over there. This guy's going to have to do TV commentary instead, isn't he?
Well, he might as well. He's getting ignored by Moyes, so why not just go over there and do TV commentary?
Exactly. He's got nothing else to do, has he? But but the difference is you can play those group games in the first half of the season. You can use some of your squad. So Mavropanos, for instance, the first, I don't know how many games it was, Kudus was here until he eventually forced his way into the team. But I think from memory, he scored that goal against Newcastle. It didn't make the team the next game where we got rumped away to Villa. And then I think he was in the team from that point and hasn't left since. So all the games up until that, he was playing exclusively in the Europa League. So Moyes took advantage of that bigger squad because he had quality to put out. Mavropanos was playing every Europa League game as well. Whereas what's going to happen from the last 16 onwards is it's going to be our first team every time.
Right? Well, from what again, going back to Man United game, from what I saw, and it was Zuma and Mavropanos in central defence. I thought they played really well.
Yeah,
the pair of them. I mean, Zuma was on one. He was just blocking everything. He was like he was unreal. But they looked all right. They did look quite solid from what I saw.
It was brilliant that video. Did you see it with? It was on Twitter. Someone posted a video from behind Zuma as Kudus scored that goal. And he said, is Lieutenant Dan trying to get up to join in the celebration?
I did see that.
He sort of slowly, gradually worked his way into a run. It looked painful and eventually he got down there, So, but he's, look, there's no getting away from it.
Sorry.
Zuma.
He's right there. Sorry. I did. Sorry. Yeah, that's my mistake. Yeah. That's my mistake. Sorry, mate.
But yeah, he is our best defender, and he played on the left with Mavropanos, which is going to be really important come the AFCON as well. It's important that Mavropanos plays well because we just haven't got any others, have we? I mean, he's going to play. Clearly, he's going to play. What's his name ahead of Kera? Okbona ahead of Kera, and that's a bit. We know how that's going to end. He's got his legs are gone now, aren't they?
Yeah.
He does have magic legs. I don't know how those legs are still going, to be honest. But yeah, he is the best defender, especially in our own box that we've got. Always gets himself in the way. Fantastic in the air because even though his legs ain't working, fucking hell, he can still jump, can't he?
I'm a big Zuma fan. I know people. I know he can't run that, but I'm a big Zuma fan. I think that he just when he's on it, he's unplayable. Like he's a solid man-mountain.
Yeah. What's this? From at the Emirates.
I did put that up.
Sorry, you know what I do what I do when I'm talking is I'm a single tasker, right? So I can be talking, I completely won't see what's up in front of me. 2 missing players against the Ars Aguerd. Yeah, but really? Well, Aguerd, Mavropanos, he'll be up for that though, won't he? Because it's his old club, right?
Well, you'd hope so. Like it does worry me sometimes, Mavropanos, but I do think he needs a run of games, which he's getting. And like I said, from what I saw against Man United, he did look better than previously. So when he gets that run of games, let's see. But it does worry me a lot of times. What's that?
In Huey Green in opportunity knocks.
You're showing your age there, Steve.
Just out of order, you lot. Right. So who needs more goals? Yeah, I mean honestly, we look so dangerous when Ward-Prowse puts those crosses in. It didn't half. I mean, there was one he put in the other day. It got such height. It was like a Payet kind of height where it came down at the last minute. It's impossible to defend. There's literally the time it drops out of the sky it's on whoever's head it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
He's apparently a bit of a goal scorer as well, though. Mavropanos. He likes a dig, doesn't he? He likes a dig from long range.
Well, I've not seen it yet, but yeah, apparently so. Like, I think he scored a couple last season over the Bundesliga where he was.
Yeah.
And they weren't what you'd expect from an header from a central defender, but I think they was like long shot goals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they were. He's got a hell of a shot on him. It'd be nice to see him go. And also, we haven't seen the best goal scoring wise off of Alvarez yet. Yeah, Alvarez got quite a few headed goals in his career. You know,
well, that one he scored the other. That one he scored. That one.
Older than me. You're older than me, Steve. You're older than me, and I'm a senior. I'm a fucking senior. You know.
Let's not go there again. We'll have Ray back on. That goal that he scored with that 1-2 with Bowen. That was a fantastic goal. Lovely run, and I'd love to see more of that. But
yeah, no, it really was. It really was. But I do think that I wonder what he's going to do when he has to put Antonio back in, how we're going to play, because I do fear that he's going to go back to Antonio ball, which is just put him up front and let him bash up defenders and put Bowen back on the right, keep Paqueta on the left. That for me would be a recipe for disaster.
But that worries me as well. That worries me as well. I mean, I could say here and go, why would he do that? But we've seen it before. We've seen it in revert back to stuff. There's like a winning formula, if you like, and an entertaining winning formula. But then he wants to revert back. Like Nick always says it. He really desperately wants a low block to work. And I see it. I do see it. And it's not like it's just something that Nick's saying. We've seen it before. He does revert back and he really wants it to go. And I can't understand it, but whatever.
I think well, again, it frightens me because I feel like I know how Moyes' mind works, and it's disappointing really because he seems to do exactly what I expect every time. And what I expect at the moment is he's played that game where he's sat deep in the first half, which he wants to do. If you go back to the Antonio comments on his podcast, you remember where he said we go for it on 70 minutes, right?
Yep.
This might be the best of both worlds for him in that he can do his low block, and then on 70 minutes he can set the players free and they can go and cause damage. But to my mind, once you've done that a few times, teams will start to expect it, right? And that doesn't take into account you might be losing the game on 70 minutes, right? So that's the thing that it's really. When will he start changing it? Well,
we said that, Galdo, as well, haven't we? Like we've all said that. Why not go for it, start, and then you sit back if you want to protect a league. But then to try and sit back at the start without going for it is kind of suicide. It's like you really like putting your fingers crossed, everything crossed for that to work like that, and it's knackering. I'll be knackering.
Yeah, I don't think Antonio's got it in his legs to be a wing back anymore. I mean, he used to have loads of energy, didn't he? But I don't think he's that. I think he looks like he's blown out of his arse after he's been on a sprint. He's got a lot of bulk to carry around, Antonio, not fat muscle, right? He's a big guy, isn't he? And,
he's
a big unit. And I think he's going to come back in. I think he's due back. He's back in light training already. I think he's been training on the pitch. Which means that he can only be a few weeks away. So hopefully it will tie in with when Kudus goes off to the AFCON. We can bring Antonio back in and at least have, because if we don't, then it's going to be, what do you do then, right? You've got to do that, haven't you? Because otherwise, who you got on the right?
Sorry, Gal, say that again, because I was just looking at the chat.
You suffer the same as me. You see?
I do. I got right involved. I'm all right with the little chat bits, but when there's like a little sentence, I'll get. Yeah, I do apologise, mate.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, unless Antonio comes back in, if he's got to come back in because. Otherwise, who have we got on the right? If Kudus goes and Bowen stays in the middle, we've got to have someone on the right. So it's obviously what he will do. He will definitely do that. Like he's still Antonio is still his boy. Like if he wasn't, then he wouldn't have got that extension on the contract. He still sees him as a big part of his plans and the way he plays, which again it's disheartening. It is disheartening. There's no disrespect to Antonio. Look, listen, I think he should be an impact sub, and I think he'll be good as one. Yeah.
But he shouldn't be a starter now.
No,
he's not.
he shouldn't
No.
be. Of course, he shouldn't. And Antonio can't play in any position where he has to track back. No, I agree. He ain't got the legs to do that anymore. Don't forget his age, right? It's called multitasking, lads. We don't expect you to be able to cope. Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, I read once that absolutely nobody can multitask. Kerry, you actually focus on that task. You've got the ability to switch between tasks very quickly, but you only do one thing at any one time, right? You don't do two things at any one time. You're just better at switching than I am or Mickey is. Yeah, that's what I tell my missus anyway.
But until I got the agony, so I'll be bosh between all the so fast.
Yeah. So look, I think for me, look, I am again. There are so many disappointing parts to Moyes' makeup in terms of the big one for me. I've got to admit, and if he fixed this and we were still winning, I might think twice about it, right? But this is the big one for me, and that is about the treatment of the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah? And that is that, when you've got, I need to go and look at this, right? But I'm pretty sure that when you've got a team that's won the FA Youth Cup for a start and also won the league, I'm pretty sure those teams go on to produce at least 1, 2, or 3 players. If you look at our previous FA Youth Cup winning teams, a lot of stars came from those teams, right? And I think they need to be given time and they need to be entertained. And, there's one little a story that ain't a story. It actually happened. And that's it's one that I was told last week from a very, 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 very reliable source. And that's about, and again, this just fucking depresses me every time I hear something like this. And it's the umpteenth time I've heard something like this. So on with it, right? There's a guy that used to be the under-23 physio at West Ham. He's now at another club, right? And somebody spoke to him. And you remember the Croatia-Zagreb game last year where we played all of those players, yeah? Longello stuck out for me. Really, they did good. They did good that night, those kids, right? It was
Skulls, wasn't it? Skulls.
No, he didn't play. But no, not in that game. They were the lower age group at the time. We're talking about the generation that we largely let go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, mate.
But Longello was brilliant down the left that night, and we were, and what was the centre half's name? I forget, but he had a good game as well. And we needed defenders after that, and Moyes wouldn't put anyone into the team. But anyway, cut a long story short, the original story, Steve Potts went with another coach to see David Moyes the following morning, and said, "How do you think the boys did?" And he said, "Not good enough," and walked away. Yeah. So there you go. So on the one hand, he's getting patted on the back for giving all those kids a debut, crowing about how well they did, and at the same time writing them off behind the scenes.
Well, he's kind of talking about this, like not that so much, but it's like
that's what I've got a problem with.
I said, I don't know if I say it on here, but I said if we where we are at the moment and the finishes that Moyes has had and winning the cup, if that was Bilic, right? Just say we'd be lauding him. Yeah. But that's only because
Lacey.
He had a better, like, it's all about, it's all about, but it's about the entertainment and play and tactics for me. But it goes way beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, it does come under man management, which he's no good at. It does come under youth development, which he's no good at. So it's not just about the past, like, of our tactics and play. It's a big thing for me. I want to be entertained. I do, as we all know that. I do want that. But there's so many different layers. It's not just one particular thing on Moyes. Yes, I do love our league positions. I do love winning the cup. Who don't? I love being in Europe. Of course I do. But I don't want to be sitting there on a board one, and I want the youth to come in. There's got to be progression there, I think, as a whole team, like as a team as a whole, and moving forward. Yeah, so then that's where I'm at with it anyway, with the Moyes thing. I won't want him... You know, doing the predictions, people were saying about if you got a 6 and that, it's like another contract for Moyes. Now, I don't want us to do bad in order for him not to get another contract, right? But I don't think he should be getting another contract anyway. I think once it runs out, that's it. Thank you, Moyes.
Yeah.
You know, for bits and bobs, but gone.
You know what I'm sick of, apart from my obviously, dislike for Moyes as a bloke, because he is as a bloke as well. It ain't
Yeah.
for his performance managing the team, even though I don't like his brand of football. He's delivered as a football manager. You can't argue with that. But there are other parameters to consider as well. And one of those is, what kind of quality of bloke is he? And he ain't a very good quality bloke. You've only got to watch his petulant interviews and the way he speaks, the way he bullies some of those journalists, even West Ham journalists, to realise this guy's a fucking nasty piece of work. Don't like nasty piece of work. Don't like bullies, right? And that's exactly what he is. He's right up his own arse. Let's not feel sorry for the bloke. He gets 5 million quid a year. 5 million quid a year.
Exactly that.
And also, let's not lose sight of the fact that the amount of games that Kudus specifically has bailed him out this season, right? Without Kudus there, and he didn't go and sign Kudus. He didn't even want to play Kudus, right? It was just Kudus forced him into the side, and since Kudus has been thriving, so has Bowen, so has Paqueta. They've all been flying, right? So that has been a vital ingredient, and he didn't even want that ingredient.
No,
right?
he didn't. He didn't.
So yeah, we've ended up with his fabulous front three, but he reluctantly lets him off the leash late in the game because I think it plays to his the way he wants to play the game, which is go for it on 70 minutes. Back to the Antonio fucking shit that, the podcast that he did. So look, that's for me. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You can love Moyes for all I care. I don't care. But what I don't want to do is, I'd love to see an end to all this. When you come up with valid criticisms, to me they are valid criticisms, right? What I don't like is when people try and shut you down and say you're talking shit or you've got an agenda against him. Well, yeah, frankly, I have got an agenda against him. I don't like the bloke. Right, so I'm going to have an agenda against him, aren't I? I can't. I
think it's warranted as well. To be fair to you, like he might be an agenda, but there's weight behind that agenda. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like there's a reason for it. You could have the conversation and argue your opinion, and it would make sense. It's not like you're just being horrible for the sake of it. There is weight behind it.
Well, look, I don't think I'm even being horrible. I'm not asking for him to be sacked now. He can stay to the end of his contract and then go, with our best wishes, go off and manage Palace, which you're inevitably going to, right? And Palace will love him, right? Palace will love him because they, but having said that, Palace have got a good youth system as well. They've brought through a number of young players, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
So it might turn out to be a similar problem over there after a couple of years. But to start with, Palace will probably, they're used to playing that football. They don't really demand anything else. But yeah, look, I think let's just hope, and I do wish him well on the football pitch with the team. I want to see us have a brilliant second half of the season. I want to see us get a run in the FA Cup, but I can't see that, to be honest. I think as soon as we come up against a decent side, especially away from home, we're going to do what we did against Liverpool the other night. I think that's a secondary priority to Europe. And arguably, that's the right decision. Yeah, Europe has got to be the priority. We typically don't get there very often, but we have in the last few years. Getting back into Europe would be an amazing achievement. But that would be an amazing achievement that a new manager could come in and take advantage of. And most importantly, Mickey, we could keep some of our big players, because without Europe, I think we lose those big players. So that's why
that's massive. That's massive. I think at best, even it's horrible to say, but I think even at best that we're only going to keep Kudus, I think, for another season at best, because on the trajectory that he's going, he's going to be.
I don't mind about that, Mickey. Though it's like it's like when we knew Rice was going, because he was good, right, and arguably too good for West Ham. There's going to come a point where Kudus will be too good for West Ham, Paqueta and everything else, but I believe in the people we've got in charge now who can go and identify new talent. There's not an inexhaustible supply of new talent, but he's not called the Pearl Diver for nothing, right?
No, that's right. I agree with that. It's just a shame, I think, because Cody, I said when we got linked with him, I remember messaging Nick, and I said, as a West Ham fan, I need Kudus. As a West Ham fan, I need him, and we got him, and he's not saying not let me down for it, but he's even gone further than what I thought he would do.
Absolutely.
So it's just a shame. It would be a shame to see him go. But then that if a player like Kudus and Paqueta are going to go, they're only going to go to big teams, and that means they're playing well for us. So I'm for it. You know what I mean?
It means bundles of money, Mickey. It means bundles of money. You don't want them to be under a cloud. You want to wish them well. So you don't want them to go to one of your London rivals, right?
No.
And no one would have argued if Decker had gone to City. We would have wished him well, right?
Yeah, and I think most people was hoping that he was going to go there because of that reason. You know, we don't want to see him go into another London club, especially when he's there going. It's my new home, North London. But again, what do you expect him to say? Do you know, he's going to say that.
Of course he is. Of course he is. You've got to say stuff like that. But look, I think let's.
Thanks, GP.
Yeah, thanks, GP.
We're like, pew, 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 pew.
Only Nick has that functionality.
Yeah, but that's what I do with pew pew. So don't about it. You use your imagination, people.
Yeah. So look, let's hope we can turn Arsenal over. That's my Christmas wish to you all. That'd be a fucking great way to bring in the new year, wouldn't it? Do that and then turn over Brighton. I'm going against all my predictions now. Turn over Arsenal, turn over Brighton, right? And fucking kick off the new year with a bang. That'd be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So Mickey, thanks for joining.
No, thank you.
And thank you all in the chat. Yeah, so I think we'll be back. Me and you are going to be back after the Arsenal game, aren't we, to talk about that lovely win.
We will be, yep.
Yeah, good stuff. It's good that you can do the comments now. It made my life a hell of a lot easier.
It is. I like doing the comments as it goes. It's a laugh, and I will get better at it, people, no doubt. But mind you saying that, let's see what happens after Arsenal game, because I've got a feeling they're going to be flying in somehow. So
yeah, well, you know, let's see. Anyway, I'm going to find, what should I do? Well, we are massive at the moment because we've just beaten Man United, haven't we? So I think we'll end on massive. Yeah, we'll end on massive. Let's stay upbeat and optimistic for the Arsenal game. Right, see you Thursday. Yeah.
Have a good Boxing Day, people.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. Enjoy what's left of Christmas and see you in a few days' time. Come on, you wines.
Oh, you wines.
Now I just got to find the outro. Hang on.
Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Yo, 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 yo. Tell them how we got